Man, is this a week or what? Blue Protocol, New World, Tower Fantasy, Genshin Impact, PSO2, Elyon, Crowfall, Final Fantasy, and even new upcoming MMOs like Rebirth Online and Valiants Online, and just so much more. Yeah. So if it wasn't evident, we have an absolute metric ton of MMO news to go through in this week's Weekly Byte of MMORPG news. Real quick though, before we jump in, we are going to be streaming some more Guild Wars 2 in a few hours after this video goes live. You know, if you want to come on over and join in on the fun, we stream a variety of different MMORPGs over at our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MMOByte. We stream every Tuesday, every Saturday, and every Sunday at 3 p.m. EST. You know, if you maybe just want to go ahead and join in on the fun, or potentially appear in a future video yourself. Also, real quick, we have a giveaway going on. If you win, you can choose any MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, ESO, BDL, and New World, any game you want. Completely free. Instructions on how to enter are in the description and the pinned comment. It's really that easy. Otherwise, I guess let's just go ahead and jump into this week's Weekly Byte of MMORPG news. Before we go any further though, today's video is sponsored. Have you ever wanted to command your own ship, traverse the infinite depths of space, combat fearsome fire-breathing giant lizards? Then you're in luck. I have just a free-to-play game for you. Welcome to Entropia Universe. A world, no, more than a world, a massive, endless universe filled with countless opportunities. Become a space pirate, seek out and hunt monsters, mine for resources, all the while earning real-life money off of your efforts in-game. This is more than just your average game. This is a second life for you. Make Entropia Universe your new home. You'll never want to leave. Let's go ahead here and start this off with Tower Fantasy. For those of you that are unaware, this is an open world anime MMORPG, one that I am highly anticipating. We had a trailer released earlier this year that showed us some of what the game has to offer, but the two new trailers released detailed much more. We got one showcasing character creation, which is quite extensive it seems, and one showing what the world has to offer, providing a deeper look at various different aspects of the game, including more emphasis on combat, more of the story, and finally more exploration of the world. And let me tell you, while yes, the UI is disabled, so we're technically unable to accurately discern what the game will look like with it enabled, UI aside, this game looks and plays beautifully, which is crazy. If you're looking for more info, I strongly recommend either checking out our website at mmobyte.tv, which has info on the game including its expected release date, or just navigating on over to our dedicated video on it. TERA's in the news for two different reasons today. First, the game finally upgraded to a 64-bit compatible client, meaning less crashes, less lag, and more opportunities for the game, which is honestly about time. Players have been waiting on an upgrade for a long while at this point, too long. The update brought with it new dungeons and a new raid as well for players that wanted to jump back into the game. Then second, they are creating a kind of like a MOBA mode spin-off, TERA Battle Arena, which will take heroes from the main TERA game and give you control over them individually, taking them into battle against other players for seemingly no reason at all. This is, in my opinion, absolutely pointless and a waste of money, but they need to spend the money that we give them somehow, right? For the few of you that still play Runes of Magic, or for those of you that are looking to return to the game, this is a perfect opportunity to, as Gameforge is holding summer events all month. Different events will take place every single week, providing a plethora of different things for players to do. If you've been waiting, then this is probably your best bet to get in game and participate. Roughly 2 weeks ago, New World held their density test, which allowed thousands of players into the upcoming MMO concurrently, and well, the results have been kind of mixed. On the positive side, players were saying that the game has a lot of promising features, all of which were kind of like, I don't know, a work in progress, I guess, but the core of the game seemed to be a lot of fun. But then at the same time, on the negative side, players were saying that the game felt empty and nothing at all like an MMO. Both positive and negative players agreed on one thing though. New World is not ready to launch, not at all. It is evident that the game needed to be delayed at least a year or so to polish the issues it had, and Amazon grossly overestimated their abilities when developing the game. Vindictus actually just rolled out their brand new character, Lether, and man is she fun. I took her for a good ride last week, and she is a smooth, flexible fighter. Probably the most fun I have had in Vindictus has been on her. This is their 16th character, their 16th. After all these years, they are still somehow continuing to push out not only new content, but new classes to keep players playing. They're smart, I'll give them that. They know where their market is. Cute new female fighters that are better looking and play better than their last addition to the game. I'll give you credit here, Nexon. So Rebirth Online is a brand new MMORPG that just released onto Steam to pretty negative reviews. Mrs. Sticks and I are actually going to play through and do a dedicated video on this soon, so be on the lookout for that. For the time being though, I would probably advise against playing the game until we take a proper look at it. Now, if DC Universe and Champions Online are bumming you out, then you might be interested in Valiants Online, a brand new upcoming superhero MMORPG. Earlier this week, it actually began its 1-week open beta test, allowing anyone and everyone to jump on in and take the game for a test ride. There is currently no NDA in place that will stop players from streaming or recording or otherwise sharing their experience in the game, and there will be periodic updates over the course of the beta test that could and likely will require the occasional restart of the game client. I am excited to see this in a publicly playable state, and honestly, I might end up streaming this before the beta closes, maybe this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. EST, so tomorrow, literally 24 hours, maybe 27 hours after this video goes live. For those of you that are unaware, a little while ago, Ascent Infinite Realm was renamed Elyon, and the game underwent an entire overhaul, changing everything about the game. Recently, the game held a closed beta test and players finally got to take the game for a test run. Quite a bit was experienced. The combat changed from tab target to a complete action combat system like TERA or Black Desert, the graphics were improved, the abilities were altered, the game itself at its core was changed. Instead of the MMO taking place predominantly within the skies, as per its name Ascent, the game now takes place pretty much on the ground with the ability to fly around, but aerial combat and content is severely limited. But the most important thing that was taken away from this was the fact that Elyon has been confirmed to be releasing within South Korea this year, in December specifically. And with the global launch of the game confirmed, you can bet that it won't be long before we get our hands on it. Last week, Phantasy Star Online 2 launched onto Steam, finally, I know, and it has had almost 20,000 concurrent players playing every single day since, which is really damn good, considering there are still many players playing through the Microsoft Store. Honestly, I don't know why they would, but I mean, you know, they still are. With the Steam release, 33 countries gained access to the game as part of their global release, which, while wasn't entirely global, allowed for quite a number of additional players to play. But this update brought quite a bit with it. Episode 4, which is set 2 years after the events that transpired in Episode 3, this introduced a new level cap of up to level 80, bringing with it new abilities. There's a brand new PvP arena, a new overhauled friends list, additional character slots, arcs, missions, alliance quarters, seasonal events, and just so much more. And with Episode 5 literally right around the corner, this is an ideal time to get into the game if you haven't already, or were waiting on the Steam release. Final Fantasy XIV's 5.3 patch released earlier this week, and man, what a roller coaster of emotions that was. I won't spoil anything for those of you that have yet to play through the update, but man, does Square know how to put together a damn good story. As you'd expect, the patch brought with it many additions. A brand new dungeon, the new Nier Automata themed 24-player raid, new gear, new glamour options, new dwarf tribe quests, the extension to the story. I can't see 5.4 topping 5.3 in terms of impact, but I'm looking forward to heading into 5.5 so we could see the conclusion of the Shadowbringers expansion next year. If you're interested, we're actually going to have our thoughts on the 5.3 patch uploaded in video form probably next week or the week after, so make sure to keep an eye out. Mrs. Sticks finally wrote up, recorded, and edited her full thoughts and impressions on the upcoming Genshin Impact RPG. Currently, the game is undergoing its final PS4 closed beta test, however, it is confirmed to be releasing before October on PC and mobile devices, with the PS4 release being delayed a little later towards the end of the year. Overall, it seems as though Genshin Impact is a beautiful game that holds a lot of promise. It has fast, smooth, high-quality action combat, a plethora of characters, and plenty of things to do, but it's held back by its limited dailies, its grind, and the characters that are locked behind the terrible gacha system. While it's fully playable without spending a single cent, the fun, the variety, will only be accessible to players that sink a lot of money into the game. For those of you that thought Blaz Unleashed would remain an Xbox exclusive, yeah, boy were you wrong. While it was confirmed to remain as such, NeoWiz announced that they would be self-publishing once again over on PC, and then a couple days ago actually announced that the game would also be launching on a PS4 as well. The beta test for the upcoming launch actually being scheduled for next week on August 20th. The beta test will run through August 24th, and players can pre-register for the closed beta in advance if you're looking to experience the game on PS4. Otherwise, just, go ahead and wait for the Founders Packs to roll out and waste money on another head start. Or you can wait for the PC Founders Packs. They'll both accomplish more or less the same thing, burning a hole in your wallet. I know, but Styx, Path of Exile isn't even an MMO. True, but we still cover it whenever anything exciting happens, and you know what? Something exciting just happened. It was confirmed that the next league is scheduled to be rolling out onto PC on September 18th, with consoles following shortly after on September 23rd. And they're already planning for the next patch, 3.13, after this one goes live next month, which is a crazy release schedule. Like, guys, I do not know how the devs managed to pull this kind of release schedule off, but somehow they do, so kudos to them. This has been a long time coming. Crowfall, an MMORPG announced back in 2015, has finally entered beta testing as of last week, and it is in rough shape. Like, not rough as in bad shape, but players have noted how rough the game looks and feels, which stands to reason, of course, as Crowfall isn't anywhere near being in a complete state, and likely won't be for several years to come. But it's promising knowing, or more than knowing, seeing that the game has hit this milestone, even if it did take 5 years to achieve. At least we weren't scammed out of almost $10 million like Chronicles of Illyria. And finally, the news that I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for. On July 31st, the Blue Protocol Twitter posted several different interviews they did with various different Japanese media outlets. These were interviews that they did online with several of the staff members, the ones directly responsible for the live streams that have been handled up until this point. And there was a lot of information to cover. I went over every facet of the interviews in my recent dedicated Blue Protocol video, but for those of you that kind of want like a too long didn't read, then they wanted to stress that there is a lot of content they need to work on fixing. This is what they're currently focused on right now. Instead of developing new content, they want to go ahead and fix concerns current players had with the game, as it's important that players enjoy what they see first and foremost. They also wanted to reiterate that the recent closed beta test was just that, a test, and as such, a lot of it is subject to change. They confirmed that they will be utilizing mega server technology, allowing everyone to play on the same server, much like the Elder Scrolls Online does, preventing issues with rolling onto different servers to your friends, and they'll be implementing channels to separate players. They confirmed that they're working on introducing new classes into the game, but they want to introduce the classes in a way that won't make old classes feel obsolete, as these newer classes will likely improve on things that already pre-existing classes do. But most importantly, they went on to note that they were already looking at a potential open beta date for Japan and a follow-up closed beta test, but they need to remedy the issues that players have with the game first. Which means that once things have been ironed out, they plan on an additional beta test. That much was all but confirmed, and that sounds promising. And that is it. That is all of the MMO related news that has been brought to my attention over the course of the last 2 weeks. If you know of anything I missed, you can go ahead and let me know via Discord, via Twitter, via the comment section below, Instagram, Facebook, any method you can use to reach out to me. Make sure to include the link to the article so I can take a look at it, read through it, and if applicable, then I can include it in the next news video. Also, yeah, that is actually Carbuncle from Final Fantasy. Anyway, guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all next time.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it.